Alright, hello, welcome back. So here we are, we did some off-screen grinding, we got access to more Titus' second Overdrive. AoE damage, and against multiple, or against a single target, it's going to do multiple hits. Also got the spear grid up a bit, so something I wanted to point out is something I forgot. Early on, ability spears are kind of limited, so you want to try to save your ability spears to get haste. Haste will significantly change your early game fights. Because being able to speed up and take more turns is obviously one of the most busted things you can do in a Final Fantasy. And we also got some of the null spear, no elements. Again, like I said last time, these are actually pretty useful in certain mid and late game fights. Now, early on, you can be strapped for ability spears, and once you get to the Jose Highroad, you can start getting them more freely. And we'll probably take a bit, take a moment. Time out, to grind those out, because you want to get ability spears early on in order to get access to haste and all that early on. So I want to talk about how navigating and going back for lost abilities is not a hard thing. So let's take a look here. First, we got to find where we're at. Okay. Sometimes, you get confused. All right, so look. Notice it says 2 spears taken up, right? 2 levels. Whereas if you go backwards, it actually takes a reduced amount. Go back here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's about a third reduction or so. Something to know about her Aeons. They all get stat increases off more than just the relevant stat nodes. So you can see her Valefor's hit points increased by 64, right? Well, we got more than just that. And you notice we didn't get an MP upgrade, right? So 1 point towards MP and some mostly hit points and other stats. And it also increases off of learning abilities as well. So something to know about Yuna's Aeons. They will get stat increases on everything. Not just the relevant node, although it does help. We're going to save. And freely explore.
Company halt!
The Fiend before it. We've had trouble with this one before.
This is actually an optional boss, but since our party's a little bit cranked up for this point in the game, it's a good idea to take him on. Much easier if you try to take him on after you get Ifrit, but Belfort does have black magic and she's also naturally strong. And it's actually pretty good to take him on early because you get a lot of spears. A lot of rewards, period. Opening up with an Aeon helps a lot. Notice his hit points and his weakness. So X5 means they take 50% bonus damage, that element. As well as any active, status ailments, and what, at the top of a little blurb about any vulnerabilities or whatever. So notice something interesting here. One, she's immune to the earthquake because she's considered a flying Aeon. And 2, Yuna will not take damage. Whenever Yuna summons an Aeon, she becomes effectively immortal. You cannot attack her or anybody she's battling in an Aeon fight. And there are going to be Aeon fights later. We're going to send, her out. It takes a lot of damage from him. Now, for some reason, you have Lulu up, advanced enough to use the level 2 magic, which is kind of rare for this point in the game. It'll be fairly useful for level 2 for Fyra. Try to get elemental rolls. I've never been good at this, so. Yeah, I've never been good at his reels. And make sure to be ready to pop healing, or call Yuna in for that. Notice he's immune. So, but with the extract skills, you don't need to. See, this is a mistake I made. You do not necessarily need them early on because you can get distillers, which do the same thing and allows you to allocate those abilities to something else. So save your ability spirits. Don't use those on extract skills. You don't really need them because items do the same thing and are much more effective. Notice whenever you summon some, switch out a party member, you can actually, get a free turn. And down he goes. Sadly, so the weapon drop is random. If you can get something for Titus or your main party members, it's great. Because chances are good you're going to get something decent for this part of the game. But the MP Spirit is really useful because it means that someone who's MP starved, like Titus or Waka, can now have a very sizable increase in their game.
We'll get our chance soon enough.
Young Crusaders get.
Yeah, notice how low Waka's magic points are, same with Titus. That haste spell that you could possibly have at this point is a very intensive spell for him. So I would just say give it to Titus. Lulu and Kamari by default will have access to better, magic point gains. Same with Yuna. So it's a waste to give it to them, even though you think it would make sense. Let's see. There is not anyone around here yet. Right now, we better go back to here to get it. Yeah, it's gonna be wild, so we might want to consider moving backwards when we get some spear levels. Then grab one of these empty notes for that. It is a very good idea to give it to him early. Probably going to wait and get access to ability spears. That way we can go backtrack. So yeah, that's what I would suggest doing if you did not, if you used up your ability spear early. If you talk to her, free potion. Oh yeah, let's take a look at that item. Yep, see, that's a better upgrade, so go ahead and get it.
These stones stay. Yep.
A race, huh? Think you can beat me?
Yuna, if you...
Ready?
Hey!
Ah, huh?
Make sure to save because this is the natural boss up ahead. Also, it's never really explained how do these Sinspawn just get here. Like, this is pretty far away from the main area where he was. Did he just launch him into the air or something? It's never explained. If you have Overdrive ready for Yuna or Veil for, just open up and blast. And notice what they're strong and weak, resistant to. The core is weak against fire, but you have to have it open first. Also, remember, Aeons, except for very specific statuses, they're actually immune to everything. So you can use them against something known to use a lot of stat effects, or use them as a way to dodge that. And notice what just happened here. That Veil Force is so strong at this point, again, from the grinding and leveling up, that she almost one-shotted the boss while using Shell. See, that's what I was talking about. Look, stats immunity. So, you can use it against someone you're having trouble resisting stats against. Yeah, look at that. The boss is almost one turn. This is something anybody can do very early on. This is actually known as a boss that can be a little bit daunting to people who don't know about how strong Aeons actually are. Not to mention, they'll have Energy Blast and then level Veil 4 up a bit. That could happen. I have to say, by far, Aeons are like the absolute strongest in 10. They're watered down a bit. The Eidolons are a little bit watered down in 13, and Espers are not as strong as Eidolons or
Sorry about that.
Aeons. But in terms
slower.
of summons, I think they're
Being a guardian's tired.
they are absolutely the
You
strongest in
handle
10.
yourself pretty well. You got talent.
Because you don't see them anywhere near this powerful, even in the early game.
What are these
Fiends. They fall from...
Leave him alone and Sin comes.
Oh right,
that
we got
moment
Sin to
when
fly.
Luca told
Yeah,
me
that's
I
the thing.
had talent in battle. I think that was when
Good. We got some ability spirits, so we can go back. Oh, we got a weapon for Titus too. Win-win. We can just go back and get that ability now. Well, we know we don't have enough. Yeah. So next spear level, we're gonna go back and get haste. It's absolutely crucial you get that early on. Area. This is a good one to pick up early too, because this means as long as Yuna has magic points, you will never need to worry about Phoenix down. Now, see, the one we're missing is no Frost. Well, there's not that many dangerous threats in no Frost, so it's something you can hold off on for now if you didn't manage to save your spears to this point.
Huh.
So, they got fiends in Xanarkand too.
Just a few. It's a big deal when one shows up, though. Hey, since when have you believed me about Xanarkand anyway?
I've been thinking, maybe people Sin gets to don't die. Maybe Sin carries them through time, like 1,000 years through time. And then one day, maybe they just pop back, see?
Amazing. Simply amazing. You make up one theory after another, refusing to face the simple truth. Sin didn't. Sin crushed him. Your brother won't just...
And yeah,
and
Ludo's
one
a
more
bit of a
thing.
bitch early on.
No matter how much you want it, no one can replace Sir Jecht, for that matter. And there's no replace. It's pointless to think.
I could never be what Well, stuff happens. Best not to worry.
Waka, Lulu, and Waka's brother. Something had happened between them a long time ago. I was well, whatever it was none of my business, that's for sure. Best not to go there.
Okay, so now we have the Kilika Cloister trials. Past the cutscenes. It's honestly gonna be the worst part is that we are forced into a lot of these cutscenes because this was the
You need to
last
pray for
major
victory
title
too.
before they
Us
enabled
pray?
cutscene skipping.
Who needs to pray? The Luca goers always win.
Oh yeah? Then why you here?
We've been praying for some competition this year.
So what's your goal this time? You gonna do your best again? Ha! It's too bad your best isn't good enough. Why even bother showing up?
This time, we play to win.
So I'm
Ooh,
thinking
play
about it, but I
away.
may
Just remember, even kids
we
can
may
play,
have to
boys.
edit some of these
See you in
cutscenes
the
out just
finals.
because of how long some of them are. So
We'll beat
I'm
them.
thinking about it,
We
okay?
have
Because I
to.
kind of forgot how
You know that team?
bad it was. It's not.
Putting people down. They're
You know,
as
it's not
bad
bad
as
in
my
the
old
sense
man.
of this is unplayable. It's
Sir
bad
Jecht
in
was a
that
kind and
they
gentle
did not
man.
add in the cutscene skip
Well, not
option
my
in the
Jecht.
remaster.
Even 10 years
It
after
does
he
exist
left.
in 10 too, and
Just
then
thinking
Final
about
Fantasy
my
games
old
after
man
this
got
point
me
started
angry.
using that more.
But maybe that was just
So
my way of keeping him.
10 represented a lot
Nah.
of the last vestiges of pre-modern Final Fantasy design, while also introducing what will become staples. Also, something to know about the whole forbidden thing. It's never really established, if that's a thing or not. And since never established if anybody's actually had their lives lost as a result, or they have, who did it.
I think Waka.
Lord Oha.
Again, doesn't really matter much.
A summoner, are you?
My name is Yuna.
Donna? So, you're High Summoner Braska's daughter. That's my.
He becomes
All
much
these
more relevant
people
in
are your
10-2.
guardians? As I recall, Lord, quality over quantity. I have need of only one.
I only have as many I trust them. To have so many even more so. Of course. So, lady.
You do what you.
A guardian is someone I wondered. What she...
Yeah, it says she's smiling, but the model does not show that.
The faith is...
The fate?
But first, the
Strength.
No! Ah! Hey, what?
You're not a
Oh, sure.
And we're just wandering around waiting for it to come up.
Where's Yuna?
Never explain why
Then
did she
why
come
are
back?
You?
Hey, I'm not a guard. Hey!
I like how he just knew to toss him in.
Ah! Let me go! Go! Hey! What's the big idea?
Just a little game.
Huh? This is bad. Only guardians allowed.
Yep, see?
Well, I guess it's too late now.
So notice you couldn't move on. You gotta take it out. We're just gonna move that. Do a little rotation. Up. Okay, remember correctly, you need to go back and put. Sometimes this can be lined up annoyingly. There. So, this can happen very easily, and I'm going to go look it up because I do not remember this one, strangely. Like I said, it's been a while since I had to do these. Most of that stuff easy to remember, but Cloister trials are always a pain in the ass. Okay, so you're supposed to create a glyph using the fourth wall. Yeah, see? Nope, I don't want to push it. See? Now we do that. So you got, this is when you're supposed to remove it. And there we go, door open. Whoops. That little panel there allows you to move it back and forth. It's not letting us move that one out. You know, there's... Okay. So sometimes these pedestals will have 2 slots on them. And it's usually related to that, you know, Temple's puzzle. So what we need to do is go back and put this into a wall. There. No. Notice we still can't get down there yet. Gotta put out those fires. Then you can try to glyph spear. You notice something funny. The fires go out, and here is the destruction spear we need. So we need to first go down here and get this. We need to put it into a different hole. Hole. Boom, treasure. Notice the little icon that indicates you've gotten the treasure and is part of the Anima unlock. That is an item for Kimari. So once you do that, you need to go again and get another Kilika spear, and then you're done. What does he just do with those spears when he's,
Whoa.
It was Donna.
Yuna will be the one to suffer the...
She could be excommunicated.
Notice nobody actually gives a crap about that.
The chamber beyond is...
What? Even guard?
It's taboo.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of things are taboo, but they still do it anyway.
Just wait.
So what's in there?
The faith, remember?
Oh, yeah.
The Faith are people who gave their lives to battle sin. Yevon took their souls, willingly given from their still living bodies.
Huh?
Now they live forever, trapped in statues. But when a summoner beckons, the souls of the Faith emerge once again. That's what we call...
All that in this? So what's Yuna doing in there?
She prays with all her heart for a way to defeat sin.
There was something I didn't tell anyone else that day. That song we heard there, in the temple, I knew it from my childhood. It was proof that Spira and Xanarkin were connected. Somehow. At least to me it was. Maybe
So this is
that's
one of
why
many
suddenly I
early
felt
foreshadowing
like
times that you
I
don't
just
notice
wanted to
unless
go
you're playing
home.
through for a
I tried to say
second time.
something to I thought I had put my feelings for Xanarkin behind me. But they were there, and they grew
Yeah, I still
inside me
can't believe it looks so much
bigger
better
and
without that dumb
till I
filter
was just
on.
about ready to burst.
Also, this is something you see if you do load the game normally instead of what we did with loading that salvage ship.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
To scream real loud?
Alright, so we're going to haul ass back. There's not much else to do here except go all the way back. On. There we go. Okay, so if there's anything else you want to do here, you can do it now. But there's nothing really you can do except wander around, buy items or something, because the only objectives here were possibly beat Ochu, which we did. You know, and clear the story boss, as well as clear the Cloister trials.
Off to Luca. The matches start as soon as we get there. So
Now here is an upcoming thing that can greatly impact your upcoming Blitzball match. Right now, we gotta get past the story. Wanted to grab that chest, so we went a little too fast. Yep. Make sure to save once you have access to the Jecht shot challenge, because you can mess it up.
What y'all?
Who are you?
Ah,
Huh?
you know, one of the Besaid or...
Oh, right.
Don't call
Again,
him
this is, I think I talked about
But
this.
he
No,
is
have
an
I'm
idiot.
sure I haven't.
They don't got what it takes to
So
win the
notice
cup.
how they're talking about him. They never
Well, they
call
do
him
now
by his
that
name
I'm
Titus. They will always refer to him as
Yes,
him
they will win.
or using referential
He
pronouns.
used to be the star player of
Like
the
that.
Xanarkin Abes.
So she'll say he instead of, you know, or they'll say you, him,
Yeah.
and so on.
It's not ruins. There's a big city there. There is. There is a...
Right. Whatever your ladyship's.
So you can see, yeah, things are a little complicated, huh?
What's wrong?
They were being rude, and I do believe your Xanarkand exists. I really do, you know?
How come?
Sir Jecht used to always tell me stories. It'd be great to see your home someday. I'd love to go there.
Yeah. So, Yuna, want to come over to my place? Right. Sure. As if I had a place to show her.
Dude, I don't remember seeing this line before. And holy shit.
Well, you'll take responsibility.
Relax, he's back.
And if not,
He could always join a blitz. Anyhow, it's Bhed.
what?
Notice they're talking about
What do
ditching
you want me
him.
to do?
You know what?
Oh, yeah.
And whose fault is that?
Not mine. It is mine, huh? Why do you think she wants to make him a...
Because he's...
All right. Wait, you sure?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, yeah. He's got to decide from...
you're right. I wonder which is best.
Make sure to save, because I can't remember which one's the actual trigger. To advance the story. Okay, here we go. This is make sure to get it before anything else. So save, and if you don't get it, reload.
Well, well. Trying to follow in my footsteps, are you? I usually charge for lessons, you know. That shot is done like this.
Yeah. That's honestly a cool shot, and it's
You
very
can't do
powerful
it,
mechanically.
kid. But don't worry, my boy. You're not the only one. No one else can do it. I'm the best. You can't do it, kid. You're out of your league. You're out of your league. No one else. You can't. You can't. No one else. You can't. No one else. No one else can do it.
And if you do it correctly, yeah. Fortunately, it's not 100% accuracy. And they stay on the screen long enough for you to catch up. Basically, you got to finish the animation.
The best? Yeah, right. Huh?
And now we have the Jecht shot.
Whoa!
Doesn't have a name.
Show us one more time.
So the thing about it is, when you get into your first Blitzball match as part of the story, you can't equip it right away. You have to wait until halftime. Then you get access to it at halftime, and you can actually win and change the story around.
That was the Jecht shot, wasn't it?
How do you know that?
Sir Jecht showed it to me when I was a child. He called it the sublimely magnificent Jecht shot Mark III.
Stupid name, huh? You know what? There is no Mark I or Mark II, you know? My old man said the name Mark III was just something to hook the crowd. He said they'd come back every night expecting to see Mark I and Mark II. And they really did come back. I used to get so mad. Is he alive, you think?
I don't know. But Sir Jecht was my father's guardian.
So he's famous here, too?
Yes. So, if anything happened to him, I should think word would get around fast.
Uh-huh.
What would you do if you found him?
Who knows? I thought he died 10 years ago. Well... I'd probably just smack him one. After everything he put Mom and me through. And because he was famous, I was always... Well, you should know, Yuna.
Hmm?
Your father's famous too. Everyone in Spira knows him, right?
Hmm.
Ain't it tough?
It is hard to follow in his footsteps as a summoner.
Sure.
But the honor of having a father like him surpasses all that, I think.
Well, there wasn't much to honor about my old man, that's for sure.
You shouldn't say that about your father.
I got the right.
I guess you do.
Ow!
Show me that move again.
Yo! I didn't think my old man would come to Luca. He never did. But I couldn't help feeling something... Sure, I had told Waka I'd help him win the tournament.
Unfortunately, this is an unskippable cutscene, as I am hammering and it's just not letting us through. I am going to look up a see if there's a cutscene skip mod, because this is going to be a problem.
Ah, over there.
Fortunately, it was a short one.
This would be dock number 2. All the way from Kilika, it's the Kilika Beasts. High Summoner O'Holland used to play for them. A big name to live up to.
Their hometown was recently attacked by Sin. Isn't that right, Jimmy?
Yes, Baba. They're going to be pulling out all the stops to try and bring back the cup this year.
Exciting, isn't it, folks? Our next team off the ramp is... Well, well, well. If it isn't, the Besaid Aurochs.
They're a living, breathing, statistical impossibility. I've never seen a team this bad. That's right. In 23 years, they've never made it past the first round.
Only a few die-hard fans are in the audience today.
Best of luck to...
Right? Moving right on. Here they are, folks. They've got power. They're an all-round first class.
Without a doubt. And after the way they dominated...
You can say that again, Jim. Looks like all of... They know... The Luca...
It's like this.
Stop right there, goers! You guys are smiling now, but not for long! 'Cause this year, us Aurochs are taking the cup!
What in Yevon's name were you doing up there?
We sure stood out, though.
We were on the sphere.
We were? Maester Micah is here.
Already?
The number 3 dot.
What's up now?
Maester Micah has arrived, that's what.
Micah? Maester?
Maester Micah is the leader of all the peoples of Spira. He's come all the way from Bavel. The tournament is being held to honor his 50 years as Maester.
50 years?
Grand Meister
Shouldn't
is
he
pretty
be,
much the same name as the
retired
Pope.
by now?
Hey, mind your mouth now.
Which is kind of
Let's all
funny
go
considering
see
the Church of Yevon is corrupt as hell. And there's a replacement church called New Yevon, which is heavily implied to be a Protestant Reformation. So, yeah. I call bullshit on anybody who thinks Square was not thinking of Western religions when they were putting together this one. Oh, there's a chest up there. I was looking for it. Oh, he can't get up there. Weird. By the way, there was another primer, but I forgot where it was at on Winno. Basically, check every new area as you come into it, looking for the primer.
Can't see a thing. Shh.
Take note of that melody. It is the same as the Hymn of the Faith.
That's a Guado, right?
Who could it be?
Half Guado, actually.
Maester Seymour?
People of Spira, I thank you for your generous welcome. Rise, Maester Seymour, and all of you as well. I present to you the son of Maester Giskel Guado, who departed for the far plain a fortnight past. As some of you already know, he has been officially ordained a Maester of Yevon.
I am Seymour Guado. I am honored to receive the title of Maester. In life, my father Giskel worked to foster friendship between man and Guado. I vow to carry on his legacy and to fulfill my duties as Maester to the best of my abilities.
You too. Bow your head. Really psychs you up, yeah? All right, last meeting before the match. Also.
Where's Waka?
At the matchup draws.
We had to play the Gorers in the first match last year.
The year before that, and the one before that, too.
Well, we would have lost.
Oh, so this is basically what you gotta do here.
Captain Walker.
Better, you know. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
We're playing the Bhed Sykes first. That's right. We
Basically,
got
this railroads you to the
wins,
first Blitzball
and we're the
match. Now,
champions.
Blitzball is a fun little mini game. We'll go into it later after it opens up.
First things first.
And we don't need to go over. Basically, you put the hell out of this before, so.
There you are. Someone said they saw some... Yes, sir.
Hey! Hey! You come...
Hey, I'll...
Yeah,
Hey, Waka. You're stiff, man. No, not your face. Just breathe out. Relax.
okay.
Like this. Just breathe.
Yeah. Fourth cutscene. Fortunate, right?
Maybe now we can find Sir Jecht.
Huh? How?
Sir Auron was also my father's guardian. So, he might know where Sir Jecht is. Let's go now.
It didn't even occur to me to think that the Auron Yuna was talking about, and the one that I knew from Xanarkand could be two different people. I don't know why, but I knew it was the same guy. I knew it was the same Auron.
All right.
Imito sumana. Fasikna bund.
I
Hey!
really wish we had
Bhed Sykes, right? Some Bhed saved me. This girl, Riku. Anyway, if you meet Riku...
So two things here. First off, this
and as
you know
for the first
thing,
game,
the story changes
may
a
the
little
best
bit
team
differently for
win.
the player when they realize what they're saying at this point. Two, he's talking about Riku, but they don't. I think they're actually pretending to not know her because Riku is actually the daughter of the Bhed leader. So they're pretending not to know anything about her, or at least pretending not to acknowledge him. Although it's not clear if they're, to be fair, it's not clear if they're actually pretending or they can't understand him. So it's never really revealed. But him name dropping Riku should have set off some alarm bells with them. Also, something I forgot to talk about is weapons and armor. We're going to get into that once we complete this section of the story because it's much easier because you have access to more markets.
Hey, let's go.
You're...
I hope we don't get separated.
Yuna!
Huh? Hmm? What was that?
In Xanarkin, we do this to cheer on Blitzball.
This is also something that becomes much more relevant in 10-2 as part of the key accessing the good ending.
You try it too. Put your fingers in your mouth like this.
Like this?
Not like that. This. Then you just blow.
It's not working.
Practice.
Okay.
Hey, use that if we get separated. Then I'll come running, okay? Well.
Yes, sir.
What?
Luca is the
I thought every town was...
Towns don't... Because...
Sin?
Hmm.
What about Luca?
It's not any different, but the stadium is here. The Crusaders fight...
They protect the stadium?
Blitzball is really the only entertainment that we have. Spira's a little
Whoa.
It's
Talk about
you know,
pressure.
it's never really established whether or not the church can actually control.
That's right.
Sin, but
Is
I think it's
Xanarkin
always
like
been
this too?
kind of implied somewhere that they can control Sin by him not attacking Luca. But at the same time, it's also implied Luca doesn't get
Well,
attacked
there are more
because
buildings,
Jecht
all
is
tall
Sin.
ones. And
Oh,
He's actively avoiding destroying the Blitzball stadium.
they must... Let's go find Sir Auron.
Auron's not...
Let's ask around.
Why not talk Kimari for? Leave Kimari. Kimari so. Kimari for. Biran tot. Maybe Tatu.
Take him on.
Sure, you Kinsum.
Take it outside.
The game...
Today, on this glorious day, to participate in all of these fine... Such is the nature of this cup. Let us sing to the glory. Contestants...
Oh, this one gets skipped. No, the first game you don't really play. Second one, however, is when you do play because it's required for the story.
Kamari, Yuna's gone.
Where in...
Huh?
Yuna's been kidnapped in exchange for her safe return.
What?
If they're only Blitzball, but we shouldn't take
I'm going to... This'll be no problem. They're telling the Aurochs. I mean, how good...
Waka said this. He'll take care of the Bhed boat. Let's go.
Alright, so we got a boss here.
The store's in a state bad. Have you... I guess it pays to... Fine, see.
Didn't need a... I'm sorry.
Whoa! Ancient map. They are more...
And you can just use Lulu to insta-fry them. If for some reason you have Thundara, go ahead and use it. At this point, she's one-shotting anyway, even with minimum levels.
What's up with it?
The Bhed.
Fortunately, she can just one-shot these guys. So it's really less pressure than it seems, especially if you're coming to a low level. The X potions, those are heavy restores.
The Aurochs are keeping the score tied with some excellent defense, folks. Oh, he'll feel that one in the morning.
Ah, but the referee doesn't call the foul. Waka's taking a real beating out there.
Huh! Still in there.
He won't last. Waka's always like that.
Ouch.
Let's go.
First off, we're gonna go get haste. That's what I was talking about. Lulu normally gets a lot of magic points, so there's no point, using those fears on her early. Nope, I didn't notice. Okay, so on screen we took a break, we came back, we installed a mod that should help the cutscene skip problem.
Let's go.
And you can tell it actually preserves the audio too. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Not showing up on the screen. I can see it's not showing up on OBS, but we are using a mod that it speeds it up hard, and we don't need to use the X4 boost. I would still say, my advice about boosters is still the same. If you can put up with the cutscenes and everything, yeah, you don't need the mod for it, but it still does the same thing. Only you can do it control via the gamepad now. We need the Lulu to charge that up first. So you need to do it one more time. Now what this does is going to halve, it's going to slash its hit points in half. Actually, it might be more than half. I know you're not, you're not meant to fight it full on. Yeah, look at that. It just lost a huge amount of hit points. Now, if you're somehow super strong and can caveman it, why not, right? But you're not meant to do it that way. You're meant to use a crane. This is so much better, isn't it? Honestly, it looks pretty funny this way. We just saved ourselves an incredible amount of time, trust me. So I'm not sure how stable this mod is. Heard it can, it seems to be. Looks like, I don't know if I just installed it wrong or something wrong with it itself. It looked like it took a little bit of effort to get it running, so it is running.
Sure. To get.
Now make sure to save. Some of you want to save that. Because this upcoming match is the first one you can participate in, and you can actually win it. But you need to know how to do it. Oh, whoops. Got the dialogue. This looks so goofy. There's Auron, much talked about, but not seen until now. Whoa! Sorry, I meant to start that off. There we go. Want to manual control this. Basically, you want to try to keep them from scoring as much as possible. Your allies will automatically move around. That's mostly going to be one controlling Titus here anyway. Ooh, tough one to break. Cute. Basically, you want to run down the clock. Just keep them busy. Each half is 5 minutes. Long shot. Again, we just want to keep them busy. Run down the clock as much as possible. Might be a force a tie game. Basically, yeah, unfortunately they managed to get in position. Doesn't matter if you win or not. If you win, you get a strength spear, which is really useful early on. Funnel everything to Titus if you can. He's gonna be your star shooter by far. Well, so sometimes, a 9 can beat a 10 there. Kind of random where that it will. Halftime, okay. Now we can even the odds.
The goers are just playing.
Zone defense!
What about me?
Get the ball!
Goers are going down!
Get rid of spear shot. This Jecht shot is busted. Now marking is basically, well, we can go to, I don't think we'll do a detailed thing on Blitzball. Basically, we'll go into it after it unlocks in the game, which is not long after this. Right now, we're more concerned about just playing the match. All right, on. The AI is usually pretty good about figuring out the optimal choice for any given situation like that. He's just running it down to us. But yeah. I decided to go for a pass instead of a shoot, which is usual. I think he would have made it. Obviously, obviously, of course you are the better for shooting, so. Right, get over to the better shooter because we have a high catch score. Yeah, see? Because we didn't get the ball. They just managed to get away from us. It's unfortunate. And that's why the Jecht shot is busted. Assuming you hit you're about let's say that was 100 feet. Assuming you're 75 or closer, you've effectively got a free win button. The problem is Tidus has piss poor hit points early on, so you can't abuse it as much. When you're able to use it 2 or 3 times a match, go right 2 or 3 times a half. Oh, you're getting free wins. And if somehow you manage to play out your mind and keep them from scoring, you can force a overtime or get a win. Reward is the championship trophy and +4 strength spear, but again, it's not critical. And it's really hard to do with a low level, people like this. Don't feel bad if you can't do it. It's hard. I've only done it like twice ever. I played this for hundreds of hours. Oh. And now we get the cutscene. So if you tend to try to get the win, you need to use the Jecht shot before this happens. Otherwise, Tidus gets taken off for the rest of the match.
Oh, it's Waka! He's back on the field and ready to go!
Oh, we may force overtime. Nice. So overtime would just use whatever you have deployed as well. If I remember correctly, it does refresh your team, so you just use Tidus again if he's already on the field. I don't believe you can switch back, switch him out. Run down the clock, force halftime. Or, pass the Waka and go for another one. Ooh, that's a far, if you can. Come on, go for it. Ooh, just enough. So this is going to force overtime. So the quality of life change they introduced in the 10.2's version is get to a certain gold amount, the game's automatically called. It's huge. Like, wish they had that in here, but so we can swap it. Okay, so you can only use your last roster deployed. So whoever scores first wins. Again, the AI is usually pretty good about choosing what they're likely going to get. Insecure, are we? Passing it over to him. Yeah, not much we could do there. It's unfortunate, but hey, we almost had it.
The Aurochs may have lost the game.
And you know, the dialogue does change if you win naturally. Let's just use autosave. Cause that cutscene skip speed is crazy. So pretty much just thought about it way through this one. Notice he got a lot of power spear.
What's happening?
We'll just skip this cutscene, but this is honestly just one of the most iconic scenes of the entire franchise here, Auron's intro. But it establishes him as one of the most notable samurai, in the franchise. Rolls up, goes to the battle stands, and just says, "Nah, son." Also, take note of his gear. It is extremely similar to the Samurai 80, gear in the Shadowbringers. By that, I mean they based that gear off of his, not the other way around. Dude, I don't remember them being that weak.
Auron! Sir Auron!
So...
Yeah.
There's the real big boy. I imagine his sprite speed up. I didn't put, yeah. Yeah, we're on normal speed, so I don't know why his sprite looked like it sped up for a moment there. Jesus. We timed, didn't he?
Hey, give me a...
Yeah, another one we would skip, but this is also one of the most iconic scenes in the franchise. Here we go, Anima. This is honestly, Anima's way more powerful here than he was. Well, I should explain. Anima is a female-based Aeon here, but is a male-based boss in 14. 1 in 14, even on launch, was questionable on the strength because it was an early X-Pac boss. Here, even straight out the box. Once you unlock Anima, she is absurdly strong, to the point that she can solo win the rest of the game for you at that point. That may be certain multi-phase bosses in later Seymour battles. And this does bring up interesting questions that I don't remember talking about this in the original LP, but at this point you're led to believe that only summoners can summon Aeons. People who underwent the training and all that. Seymour has never hinted to be able to be somebody who did that. So it really brings the question whether or not you have to actually go through training. Because it's heavily implied that the Aeons are choosing who to give their aid to, rather than any special training.
Yuna needs me with her now. I can't
He's
be
giving
lying
it to the
around some
summoners
day.
because they think they'll finally get the one that frees them.
Come on, look sharp. The Blitz season just started. Don't make those faces, yeah?
And again, this does have spoilers and everything because these Let's Learn guides are based around the idea that you all have seen this already. You already know the story beats and all that. And Bahamut will,
I can't hear you.
come to the story eventually, and he did bring, set up for Titus to leave as he did with Jecht. So this faith are sentient.
Are you sure?
Never liked long goodbyes anyway.
And he straight up tells you that main bad guy is your father from the start. Dude, look, this is why I think we should install the mod sooner. Look at this. We skipped about 5, maybe 10 minutes of unskippable dialogue. So, yeah, let's pause that for a moment. So, yeah, I think that was the right call. I just got tired of it. Alright. So, what's it? Okay, Auron. So, this is, for the most part, your main roster. Riku does join later on the Moonflow. So let's finally go over the spear grids because we can do this now and talk about Riku's later. First off, we're going to set up a party because my personal in-game party is Auron, Yuna, and Titus. You get a lot of bonuses, a lot of things that each can use. All right, so spear grid wise, Titus would generally have a balance of power, agility, and he gets access to quick attack, which is a bread and butter ability in mid and late game. He also will have access to some white magic that Yuna doesn't get, like haste and haste Ga. He also will get some fun other stuff. Let's see, like auto life. Well, actually, auto life is one of the universal ones. You have to move it around in order to preview what's up ahead. Yeah. So he'll also get the ability to cheer. Let's get back to where we're at. There we go. So yeah, if you follow his path, you'll get delay attacks as well as quick attacks, which can increase your turns, as well as delay in theirs. Auron is power. He has power, he's hit points, and he's defense. By far, he will be naturally not your fastest, but your strongest auto attacker, and he'll get access to the break skills. If you're familiar with break skills, they appear in previous titles as well as later ones. Usually, they will lower a stat, on an enemy. A power break will lower, physical damage usually. Mental, mind break will do that's the same for magic. You can also lower defense. And generally speaking, he is probably going to be your slowest character because he does not normally get a lot of agility in this spear grid. He's all there for the power and for being tanky as hell. Yuna is fairly balanced. She'll get access to white magic, and her stats will be mostly bouncing around hit points, magic, and some MP. Not as much as say Lulu. You can see she'll get every white mage ability except for the ones that Titus gets. Baka would be, it's a fairly balanced. He's more of a agile, but he's balanced around being agile and having physical attack. And he's also going to be your most accurate user as well. He also gets access to stats effects like Dark Buster, Silence Buster, and more. Well, it's called Dark, it's Dark Attack, but it's the same thing, really, See, you also get the upgrade version too. Hang on. You should be able to. Let's zoom out. Sadly, you can't check an ability until you've actually reached it, so it's a pain in the ass to really be able to tell you what it is by actually looking at it. So Lulu will mostly get magic points as well as magic attack, and she also gets the highest magic defense by default. It's kind of curious. Yeah, she can end up becoming really tanky against magic heavy enemies. You also get access to AoE buffs like Focus, which increase magic def attack. And she'll also get some of the best, strongest spells in the game, like Ultima. Mari is basically whatever you want him to be. You can just put him into a different spear once you've unlocked access to that section of the grid. There's not much to tell. He is basically meant to be copying whatever character you want him to copy. And I'll talk about it now, but Riku is basically, she gets access to thief skills. So steal, mug, and more. She also is going to be your fastest character. She'll have the highest agility. She also is the character that has natural luck nodes in her area. And we'll repeat this again when we get Riku. Anyway, let's talk about his Auron's Overdrive. So, his Overdrive is Bushido. Now, what this means is he does different types of sword arts, and you get more of them by unlocking them via Braska spears. But actually, they're called Jecht spears in this game. You have to find them out in the wild. Once you found one, then the others will start respawning. Will go up out in the wild. So you have to backtrack via airship or walking back in some areas. But generally speaking, you don't need to get all of them. There's only one that you really need, and it's not actually the last one. One you really want to get is the Banishing Blade. It inflicts all 4 status breaks on a target, which means some mid and late game encounters can change drastically if you're using Auron. Also, note he does not come with any spear levels, so you're going to have him play a little catch-up. This is an oddity in this franchise, as often a character joins up, they tend to have something that has them catch up to a party member. For example, Final Fantasy XII will have party members joining that scale off Vaughn's level in LP, meaning they can catch up very quickly. They don't lose out on any levels. In some cases, they may actually have more levels. Pop the speed boost.
You think he's gonna stay here?
Sir Auron knows him, apparently.
Do you think he'll find a way back to Xanarkand? Hey, watch.
Hey, you got
I got used to how to manipulate. Sorry, gotta get used to how to manipulate the speed. So we seriously cut down a incredible amount of time here. There's nothing inherently wrong with the cutscenes or anything. But at the same time, the entire point of these learns is they're truncated, and these cutscenes skip a lot in order to get to the action. There we go. Okay, Blitzball. So let's talk about that real quick. Blitzball is you would think it's something you want to jump into right away. However, not. You actually want to wait until you get the airship, because when you get the airship, you get access to Waka again as a recruitable agent, and you get access to Brother, who is by far one of the absolute best units in the entire game for Blitzball. So you want to delay going to Blitzball. Don't rush into it. You want to delay till the end game starts. Because if you try to do it, you're going to have to reset your league. Then you got to go out and find your people again. And it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, don't rush, Blitzball. That's something you have to hold off on. So here's a little mini tutorial fight.
No way!
This is meant to show off Auron's other special ability.
Told ya.
Okay, so let's pull up the menu. I want to show his weapon. Okay, we could have a glitch here. I don't know what's going on. Still loaded, right? We're going to check this, see what's going on. Might be a glitch with the autosave. Oh, never mind. It's okay. That was weird, wasn't it? Whatever, because I don't remember doing it before when we played this before. LP could be something for the mod, so if it does that, we'll figure out. Actually, wait, what am I doing? There. Okay, so note it as the piercing ability. Piercing means you can ignore heavily armored units like that. So, this is actually something that comes into play much later in the game when you get access to the monster arena because you want to have a piercing weapon for that. We'll go into that when we get to it because that's around the start of the mid game. Actually, no. Monster arena comes, but you think it's mid game, but it's actually near the start of the end game because you're hitting the last two areas before you end up going to the airship section. Yeah, piercing is a very valuable thing to have. Celestial weapons fully upgraded all have piercing. That's a free, so they're technically a 5-slot weapon. We're going to turn off the counters and get through here.
Do you know what?
Some old city?
Correct. A terrible test. Compared to sin, humans are mere.
So just proceed along the path, and we're going to encounter Belgemine shortly. Well, we would if we didn't keep getting these forced cutscenes. Take note of these three. They show up again in 10-2.
I might have a few things to
There we
teach
go.
you. Let us see which are stronger. A one-on-one match, not to the death.
So you take this fight. You want to take this fight. You win, you get bonus stuff. You know, to win early on, you have to have a fairly decently, leveled up Aeon as well as, decide, knowing what to do and when. And when you have an Aeon versus Aeon fight, keep in mind that you cannot summon the one that's summoned. It is a good idea, however, to summon a weakness, because later you get Shiva, and you can summon Shiva against Ifrit and vice versa.
Show me how strong of a leader.
So note, the Belgemine only shows up when you have multiple Aeons. Not show up, until here, because now, as part of the story, you have two. Also, note Aeons are immune to censor. See? And this tells you about the shield and boost thing, depending on, if you don't already know about it. Oh crap, I didn't see that. So this is probably going to be a loss because honestly, what we really need to be able to teach her curing and all that, tank his stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. Oh, sweet, we won. So we'll get the bonus. And she cannot call a Aeon to her that's not already summoned.
That is enough.
So what I mean by this is, okay, let's say she wanted to summon Velfor. Velfor's already out, so she cannot summon. Now, when she has access to 3 Aeons, it's a little different. Okay, so I think it's this area.
Not bad.
So we could have a little bit of a slow thing in certain things.
You show prom with more training.
Thank you, but I think
I cannot. Huh? Or should I say,
you mean
farewell, Yuna.
It's very early foreshadowing that she is actually on scent. And it goes back to what I was saying a few minutes ago about Seymour. That you do not need to be, there's actually rules that aren't known. That someone's an unsent, they can still commune with summons because again she gets access to more later. And her summon list is actually the same as Yuna's for that point in the game. Okay. An interesting little trick you can do with him is, since he's fire, you can actually cast it on himself and he'll heal up. In most cases, it's going to be more effective than a cure spell. And it's also a cheesy way to charge your Overdrive. The Ifrit is pretty, strong here at the Yarda game. Will also be fairly useful when you get access to Shiva and do the Shiva fight with Belgemine. And more cutscenes we're just plowing right through. Good. Turn that on.
Please lend us your strength.
Interesting enough, you can cast Null Blaze on, which is a strange thing, You we want to do that because, again, we saw what we just did with it, right? See you in hell. Bunch of chumps. All right. Let's keep on to the travel agency. Thanks for the loot.
We rest here.
But this is...
Is that a
Waka's a racist. Yes, it is a problem.
They kidnapped Yuna.
Where were her guards?
Oh.
Sir Auron
Got a point.
I'm not...
Well,
So it's going to force you into this little cutscene, sadly. But you can explore around.
As if I could sleep.
There it is. So this is the compilation spear. You see one at the very start in the temple you wake up in after leaving Zenican. Very correct. This should correct the full one. Wait, I think we sing one twice. There we go. Not much point in buying gear. So something I forgot to talk about gear is gear is it operates similar to Final Fantasy VIII, where the weapon doesn't matter except for what's on it. So I should explain what I mean by that. All right, you know, buying let's say you buy a Shimmering Blade here, right, and then you buy another one late game. They're identical except for what the stats are. So a late game one might have plus 10 strength percentage on it, right? Here it's piercing and strength plus 3%. A late game one might again have 10% instead, or it might have extra slots. That's what the big thing is here. You know, all weapons, they don't have innate stat bonuses or anything, but they all have abilities. The abilities on are what's the big deal is. And the same is true of armor. And they change names around to indicate what they're doing. So here, this is a magic resist thing, so it's called Pearl Shield. Same with the other, items. And anything that's, cranks a certain stat or another, yeah, there's actually a priority, but I think it's special property then stat bonuses. And so you can never recreate unique weapons like this. The Brotherhood cannot be recreated by taking a 4th slot item and then you're putting the exact same stats in. It just ends up calling itself something else entirely. May want to consider getting some upgrades to your gear. I would not suggest swapping out Brotherhood. Brotherhood is going to be your main weapon for I think until the end game starts. Because honestly, there's very few enemies you're going to be running into that are water strong or absorb it, at least until Macalania. And it's extremely good weapon for a lot of the game. Plus, after the far plane, you're going to have innate sensor on it. So yeah, that's something I suggest you consider. And you can buy grenades again. Remember, only Riku can actually use these.
This might be the last.
Mr. Rin's shop site.
Also, take note, he is a.
Mr. Rin isn't out
you have a Maester, but he does not have hostility towards Rin. Also, yeah, what she said. Yeah, they're weird. We're going to save it here, and we'll see you next time for next session. Now that we have a speed up button, it's going to be much faster on the cutscenes and all that. So, no big problem. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.